Hey there, my name is Alex, and I'm glad you're here in my channel. This week, I'm gonna talk to you about lessons learned and why I consider them one of the most relevant and most important aspects in project management. And not only for project management, for overall management. So let's get started. As many of you might know, in the Project Management Book of Knowledge, there's a part when we get, as part of the processes of project management, into lessons learned. Lessons learned is an exercise and a tool that can be used at the end of any project to evaluate what went wrong, what went well, what we can learn from the execution of the project to move forward. And it's a very good element to get all team members at the end to just go analyze, reflect on what went moving on from one part to the other. And it's a very interesting process. I've seen it in practice quite a few times over the years, and in especially large projects with a lot of stakes at bay, it's really an extraordinary thing. So it's an element when we get to analyze different parts of the process of executing, planning, initiating, monitoring, and finalizing a project. And it gives feedback, which always will be an essential thing in business. We always need, as humans, to get feedback from our peers, to get a good idea of how they see us and what they've seen we can do, not only individually, but as a team. So when you get stakeholders and discuss, a lot of very interesting things come out. Things can come out regarding personality, regarding decision-making process, regarding how we work around things. So be keeping that in mind when you go into a lessons learned process. But don't stop only in project management. You can use this tool in everyday management. I'm not saying that you should do a feedback process every end of a term, but on a continuous basis. As much as a person hears from you, learns from you, understands what your points of view are, a lot better the results will get. And also, if you can get some feedback from that person, you can become a better manager, a better understander of how to move around things and employ your team in a better way. So part of what is very important on lessons learned is to learn to listen. And if you move that into everyday life, you'll find out that lessons learned is an everyday thing in everything we do. Why? Because we always make mistakes. We are humans. We commit errors. We do things that later we regret. When sometimes we don't even see that we made a mistake on what we did and how we handled a situation, a moment. And it's very important that we reflect, we learn, and we move on. Because if we don't, we will stay and will stick to what didn't work out. And lessons learned are about moving forward, about having a result, about having something that can solve through other parts of your life. So use whatever technique is best for you. There's lots of ways to do a lessons learned. You can either do a Delphi technique, or you can a one-to-one discussion, a group discussion. You can segment different parts of the group, or you can mix all of them up. But the most difficult one of them all will be always on a one-to-one relationship outside the business environment. having a session for lessons learned with a partner, either in business, in love, in affection, or with a parent or a sibling or a daughter, a son, can always be a difficult task because you feel more exposed and both parties are going to be on a defensive part. And this can also be in a business level when you have two people that have been confronting themselves and clashing. Why? Because we are not able to be honest, direct. It's not easy. And we need to find other ways to communicate when a direct conversation is not possible. And you can write emails. You can write different messages. You can send gifts. You can do a video. You can record an audio message. Or you can use a third party. But one thing is basic. Timing, the content of the message, and what you're aiming, what your objective is. And that's the only way you can manage through these circumstances in which there might be a conflict, in which there might be something uncomfortable to move on forward and to gain into moving into a lessons learned approach. So for the next opportunity you give yourself, look at lessons learned. Look at different perspectives. Change your seat. Come on. If you move from one side to the other, you can always gain something new. But if you get stuck in the same place, you'll never move on. So please take that in consideration the next time you are really thinking of something new in your lives, of moving from the perspective in business where you are in a comfortable zone and move on forward. Learn from project management. Project management has a lot to teach us in this, not only for business, but for everyday life. So this is it. It's nice to hear from you. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you next time. Thank you once more.